Hey everyone, how's it going? A few days ago during Sony's State of Play event, Capcom revealed the first trailer for the now confirmed Resident Evil 4 Remake, and in this video I'll be breaking down the trailer and giving my thoughts on everything about it. There's been a lot of rumors and leaked information that confirmed the game was in development for a few months now, but this is the first time it's been confirmed by Capcom themselves to be in development. When these rumors and leaks were circling, I was one of the people who wasn't all that excited about the prospect of a Resident Evil 4 remake. I thought the game wasn't very much in need of a remake, especially when you consider that Code Veronica is still yet to be remade since its initial release over 2 decades ago. Obviously, I would have been happy with a RE4 remake since more Resident Evil is better than less, but RE4 has aged very well, and considering there are games like Code Veronica that are in more need of a remake of RE4 wasn't all that exciting to be initially. But after watching the trailer, I've got to say I'm far more enthusiastic about the game than I was before. Let's start by talking about the trailer itself. As a whole, the trailer didn't give us a lot of information to go off of. We don't see any actual gameplay, but it's safe to say it'll be the third-person perspective we saw in the original game and in the remakes of Resident Evil 2 and 3. So all we really gotta look at were the graphics, which are excellent as always. This trailer was largely just to show the world that this game is happening. They're getting the hype train started early and will show more gameplay once the game is further along in development and when it's time for pre-orders to get going. The game already has a set release date for March 24th next year, and that gives us some idea of where the series as a whole is going. With RE4 being remade now, I find it unlikely that we'll ever see a remake of Code Veronica, at least in any official capacity. I don't think it would make much sense for the franchise to remake games out of order, and Code Veronica takes place before RE4 in the timeline. So for now, the hopes of getting an official Code Veronica remake are gone for good. On the other hand, the chances of getting remakes of Resident Evil 5 and 6 are much higher now. Capcom is proving they're willing to remake games that are much newer. Granted, most people regard RE4 as one of the best games of all time, but RE5 is the highest selling Resident Evil game to this day, so if Capcom is following the money for remakes, an RE5 remake isn't out of the question at all. Resident Evil has almost become a yearly franchise since the release of Resident Evil 7 back in 2017. The only year we haven't seen a major release was 2018, largely due to some of the troubled development for the RE2 remake. The only game being released this year is the weird RE-verse PvP thing, and while Capcom seems to consider that a major release, I don't think anyone else does. But ignoring RE-verse, that's 5 major titles in 7 years if you include this new remake, and that means we'll probably get more very soon. I can definitely see a game like Resident Evil 9 releasing in 2024, and Resident Evil 5 remake in 2025 if they're continuing to alternate between original games and remakes every year or so. Beyond that, it's a bit difficult to tell what might happen. I can't tell you what a Resident Evil 10 might look like since we don't know exactly what the 9th game is going to entail, and I'm not entirely sold they'll ever remake Resident Evil 6 since it was received so poorly at the time that the series had to soft reboot itself. Maybe we'll see remakes of Code Veronica and the Revelations series of games in there somewhere, or maybe even a Revelations 3, but it's impossible to say what exactly they have planned. Overall, I've been sold on the idea of an RE4 remake. Resident Evil has a bright future ahead of it, and hopefully this is another solid game for the franchise. All I can say for certain is that between this game in late March and the Dead Space remake in January, the first quarter of 2023 is going to be very busy and very spooky. But those are just my thoughts. Of course, let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, like the video if you made it this far, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.